He never expected one small accident to change his life forever. But that's exactly what happened the night Daniel Parker, a struggling single father trying to hold his world together, accidentally spilled hot coffee all over the laptop of one of the most powerful women in the city. What began as a disaster turned into a moment that would rewrite both their lives forever. Daniel Parker's life was built on quiet sacrifice. 3 years ago, he lost his wife to illness, and from that moment on, his world revolved around one person, his 6-year-old daughter, Lily. Every morning he packed her lunch, braided her hair the way her mom used to, and kissed her on the forehead before rushing off to his job as a waiter at one of the city's most elite restaurants. For him, every shift wasn't about service, it was survival. The money he earned kept the lights on, paid for school supplies, and gave Lily a chance at the life he once dreamed of. That evening, rain tapped gently against the tall windows of the restaurant. Candlelight shimmered on polished tables, and the soft hum of jazz filled the air. Daniel moved from table to table, polite smile in place, hiding the exhaustion in his eyes. He had just finished serving a table of businessmen when his manager motioned him over. "Table 6, he said in a hushed tone. "Be careful, that's Emma Cross, CEO of Crosstech. She's important. Don't mess this up." Daniel nodded. "Yes, sir." He didn't know it yet, but that warning would echo in his head for the rest of his life. Emma Cross sat near the window, dressed in a deep red gown that made her look untouchable, poised, confident, and effortlessly powerful. Her laptop glowed in front of her, her fingers dancing across the keyboard even as candlelight flickered beside her. She wasn't there for a date or a meal. She was there to work, to finish a presentation that could make or break her company's next big deal. Daniel approached carefully, balancing a silver tray. "Good evening, ma'am. Would you like coffee or wine tonight?" "Coffee," she replied, eyes never leaving the screen. "Strong. I need to stay awake." He nodded and hurried back to the counter. His hands trembled slightly, part nerves, part exhaustion. He poured the coffee, placed the cup on the tray, and took a steadying breath. Just another table, he told himself. Just another customer, but fate has a cruel sense of timing. As he approached, another waiter brushed past him, bumping his elbow just enough to tilt the tray. In slow motion, Daniel watched the cup tip, the dark liquid cascading forward, splattering across the white tablecloth and directly onto Emma's open laptop. The world froze, the restaurant fell silent. Daniel's heart stopped. Emma gasped as her screen flickered, hissed, and went black. The rich smell of coffee mixed with the sudden sting of panic. For a moment, neither of them moved. "Oh my God," Daniel whispered. I'm so sorry, ma'am. I didn't." Emma stood, her chair scraping against the floor. "Do you have any idea what you just did?" she said, voice shaking, not with anger, but with disbelief. "That was my entire presentation for tomorrow morning. Weeks of work, gone." Daniel's throat tightened. "Please, I'll pay for the damages." "I'll do anything." "You can't pay for this," she said sharply, her voice cutting through the murmurs around them. "You've cost me something far more valuable than money." His manager rushed over, red-faced, apologizing profusely to Emma while glaring at Daniel. "You're done for the night," he hissed. "Go home. Now." Daniel nodded silently, humiliation burning in his chest. He walked out through the back door, his uniform damp from the rain, his heart heavy with defeat. He had already been walking a tightrope between survival and failure, and tonight, he had fallen off. When he reached home, Lily was asleep on the couch, clutching a crayon drawing, "Me and Daddy at the park." He knelt beside her, brushing her hair gently, whispering to himself, "I'm sorry, kiddo. I messed up again." That night, as thunder rolled outside, Daniel didn't sleep. He just stared at the ceiling, wondering how much more he could take. The next morning, he returned to the restaurant expecting the worst. His manager didn't say a word, just handed him a folded note. "Someone wants to see you. Office upstairs." His stomach twisted. He climbed the stairs, knocked, and froze. Emma Cross sat behind the desk, calm and composed. No anger, no fire, just quiet authority. "Sit down, Mr. Parker," she said. He did, heart pounding. "Look, Miss Cross, I can't apologize enough. She held up her hand. "I don't need another apology. I did some checking. You've been working here for 3 years. Single father. Your manager told me. He blinked, unsure where she was going with this. Yes, ma'am. That's right. I was angry last night, she said, her voice softening. But then I thought about it. Years ago, when I started my company, I made a mistake that almost ended everything. Someone gave me a second chance. And maybe it's time I do the same. Daniel frowned. What do you mean? I want you to come work for me, she said simply. Not as a waiter, as part of my new hospitality project. We're building AI that teaches empathy in customer service. I need someone who understands people, who knows what it's like to struggle and still care. He stared at her, completely stunned. Ma'am, I don't have a degree. I've never worked in tech. Emma smiled faintly. Degrees don't teach empathy, Daniel. Experience does. You've got something people can't fake, heart. His voice trembled. I don't know what to say. Say yes, she said. He did. Over the next few months, Daniel's life transformed. He learned quickly, his sincerity and kindness shining through in every task. For the first time in years, he wasn't just surviving, he was growing. Lily noticed too. Her dad smiled more. He had stories to tell, dreams to chase. Emma and Daniel began to share more than just work, they shared moments. Late-night brainstorming turned into laughter over takeout. She met Lily, who instantly adored her. Slowly, walls came down, replaced by something fragile and real. One evening, as the sun melted into the skyline, Daniel found himself standing beside Emma on the office balcony. She turned to him, her eyes soft. You know, she said quietly, the night you spilled that coffee, I thought it was the worst thing that could happen to me. He chuckled. Yeah, I thought it was the end of the world. But it wasn't, she said with a smile. It was the start of something I didn't even know I needed. He looked at her, warmth in his eyes. Funny how life works, huh? One mistake, and everything changes. Emma nodded. Sometimes the best things come from the moments that go wrong. And as the city lights shimmered around them, Daniel realized that fate didn't punish him that night, it redirected him. The spilled coffee, the humiliation, the heartbreak, it all led him here. To a new beginning. To hope. To love. And that's how one single dad, who thought his life had fallen apart, discovered that sometimes, even the messiest mistakes can turn into the most beautiful miracles.